Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to do my Seattle Seahawks 2024 season preview. Last team here, this division, the NFC West, before we head to the AFC West starting tomorrow. We're going to talk about Seattle Seahawks this upcoming season. It's going to be weird not seeing Pete Carroll on that sideline as a Seahawks head coach. He got fired this offseason, a very shocking move. Tommy! Because they just barely missed out on the playoffs. They barely missed out. I don't know why they just felt the need to fire Pete Carroll. I guess it's because he's kind of get there in age and they want to get a new coach in there. But I just don't think they're nowhere good enough to compete with the 49ers, the Rams. I just don't think they're good enough to compete with them. I think they're a third place team. And I just don't see this team being good. I think they're going to start that rebuild process, man. I think it's time to start the rebuild, get a quarterback in next year's draft. That's just my opinion, what the Seahawks should do. Because you need to get a franchise quarterback. That's what they have to do after this season, and get a high draft pick. Because I don't see his team being a playoff contender. But that's just my opinion. Last year, they had a solid season. Geno Smith obviously wasn't near as good as the previous season, but that was expected. But yeah, it's really my opening monologue here. My season summary for him from last season is the Seahawks barely missed out on the playoffs yet. They still felt the need to fire Pete Carroll. That was kind of shocking. I thought the only way Pete Carroll would ever leave the Seattle Seahawks is if he retired. I didn't think they would actually fire him, but that was kind of a really shocker. So they'll have to begin the rebuilding process. I don't see how you fire Pete Carroll and not go to the rebuilding process, because you're not good enough to compete with the 49ers. You're not good enough to compete now with the Los Angeles Rams. I think the Rams are going to be much better this year. They had that hot streak at the end of the season last year. I think they improved their defense in the offseason. The 49ers will be the 49ers as usual. And the Seahawks, I just don't see them being good. So, as they're nowhere good enough to compete with the 49ers in the near future, so you just got to build up for the future. So that's really my season summary for Seattle. My opening monologue there, and then my season summary. Let's go over the veteran additions they added this offseason. So they added QB Sam Howell in a trade with Washington. Offensive tackle George Fant. A guard, Tremaine Antrim. Center, Nick Harris. Defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. Linebacker Jerome Baker. What is happening? Linebacker Terrell Dodson, safety Rayshon Jenkins, who's been really mid throughout his career over there in Jacksonville, and safety Kevon Wallace. Maybe somehow they could give him a shot. It just didn't work out in Washington. It worked out some games, but the offensive line was really bad, and somehow just didn't perform well. Maybe Seattle could maybe change some things, but don't really see any exciting veteran additions outside of that. With their early draft picks, defensive tackle Byron Murphy, really like that pick to add to their defensive line. Could be one of their featured defensive pieces. I really like what they did in the draft, man. Guard Christian Haynes was a steal where they got him value wise. I thought he's one of the best offensive linemen in the draft class. And I think they did a good job with their first two picks here to beef up their lines of scrimmage on the defensive side and offensive side of the football. Then they drafted Trice Knight, a linebacker, tight end A.J. Barn, and cornerback Nehemiah Pritchett. So that's their early draft picks. With their offseason losses, QB Drew Lock, tight end Colby Parkinson, tight end Will Dissly, so they let those two tight ends go. Guard Damian Lewis, guard Phil Haynes, center Evan Brown, linebacker Bobby Wagner, who's on I believe a 1-year deal, linebacker Jordan Brooks, and linebacker Devin Bush. They let those three linebackers go this offseason. Safety Quandre Diggs and safety Jamal Adams. What that tells me is they're building up for the future. But Jordan Brooks, yeah, he wasn't kind of just inconsistent as a Seahawk. Quandre Diggs had that one good year, and then injuries really piled up. For the Seahawks offense this year, I think Geno will have an okay season. He'll be an average season. They have an amazing wide receivers still with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. I think he'll have a really good second year. They have a good running back duo, in my opinion, with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Charbonnet really good in the receiving game, and Kenneth Walker's had a good year last year. A decent O-line, but there is some concerns, obviously, for their defense. Lackluster pass rush. They have good defensive tackles. Solid cornerback. Injury-prone linebackers, though. That's really my thoughts on their defense. For my record prediction, I'll say they'll go 5-12, rebuild, and get a high pick in the next draft. But that's my thoughts on the Seahawks. Leave a like, comment, subscribe for more, and until next time, I go out. Peace.